What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another review for Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode number 9. Now, before we do get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's get into Married at First Sight, you guys, shall we? All right, guys. So first things first, I do want to let you guys know you might hear a little bit of noise in my apartment. I was washing dishes, so the dishwasher is currently going. So if you hear it, ignore it. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section or in the live chat if you're watching. Overall, this episode, one, it was long as hell. Two, I was irritated with two scenes. And we're going to say those two scenes for last in this episode review because those two scenes just really irritated me. And both for different reasonings. So we'll go in no particular order of couples. So we're just gonna start up with the couples who I feel like, in my opinion, didn't give a whole lot, and then we'll just work our way to the worst couples on this episode. And good thing for us, they're the last two couples, the couples who gave us me the most grief in this episode. They're the last two in my notes. So I guess we'll go in order of my notes. So we will start. Excuse me, y'all. So I guess we'll start up with Madison and Alan, you guys. So Madison and Alan, you guys remember last week's episode, we ended it with the couples doing, the flag football, right? And you guys remember Alan didn't go to the flag football because Alan had a terrible hangover from the night before when he and Madison went out to go celebrate his birthday. So we see as Madison got back home and Alan was in the bed. So they had a conversation with each other, right? And the conversation was about them going out the night before. Now, Madison, girl, I have quite a few questions for you because your husband talking about you dipped away, but you said you went to the bathroom. Girl, I got a lot of questions because are you really going to the bathroom or are you going to talk to somebody else, right? But she told him that they had fun at the flag football, but she still wasn't happy about what happened earlier that morning, right? So he told her that, when they went out, she disappeared on him. And he also feels that she didn't necessarily want to be there. And I was like, okay, I mean, I get where you're coming from because the fact that you just like the communication sucks. Like you could have sat there and told him like, hey, I got to run to the bathroom. I'm going to the bar to get another drink. You want a drink? You want this? You want that? XYZ, da 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 da. But she didn't do that. And I'm wondering why she didn't do that. You guys know I still think that Madison is part of our flip flopping couple, right? So, like I said, Madison said that she went to the bathroom, and then when she came back out, he was already long gone, right? So they chalk it up to they both don't have they both need to learn how to communicate with each other. So then we see as they went to meet up with Dr. Pia, right? So Dr. Pia is asking them how marriage is going, and Madison is saying they live well together, but they're struggling with the romantic and the physical. I was like, no, Madison, it's just you, I believe, that's struggling with this physical because you're not physically attracted to Alan. And the thing that I've been thinking about, but I haven't vocalized it, and it's nothing negative against Madison, is just the fact that Madison, is talking about what she likes as far as somebody goes to the gym. It's not like you got a six pack of abs and you got muscles or anything like that. Yes, you may be in good shape, but it's not like you are just this fitness guru or something of that nature, right? So Dr. Pia then asked them about this whole situation with the nightclub. They discussed it, right? And again, it's chalked up to they need to learn how to communicate better with each other, right? So then Dr. Pia is asking them, what do they need? And Madison was talking about how in past relationships, her exes would, talk about the fact that she worked so much. Now she says she does know how to prioritize the things that matter to her and the people that matter to her. And I was like, well, can you prioritize Alan? Because Alan doesn't feel like you're all the way in, and I don't either, right? I ain't gonna hold you. I don't believe that Madison Madison is all the way 100% into this relationship. So Dr. Pia, like I said earlier, she asked, what do they need, right? Because she's asking Madison this, what do you need in order to prioritize Alan? So Madison says what she needs from him is compliments. He says, well, I do give you compliments. I tell you, you look nice. And she was like, well, I don't want to just hear that I look nice. Like, tell me, that dress looks good on you. Your hair looks good, something. Give her more than just, I guess, in a sense, a vague compliment, right? So then Dr. Pia says to them, if I send you guys a game, would you guys be open to playing it? They said yes. She said it would be a game that you guys already know and are familiar with. So later we do see them. So it's Twister with a twist on it. So they're picking cards, and it's very intimate questions that they're asking. And honestly, like I've said plenty of times before, when it comes to Alan and Madison, I don't see it. I just really don't see it. But we're gonna see how they go. Honestly, like I said, I just don't see them going into where. But hey, let me know what you guys think, what you guys feel in the comments section below, and we can move on to the next couple, you guys. And I think the next couple on my list is Camille and Thomas, and I was correct. So let's get to Camille and Thomas, you guys. Camille and Thomas. It's like I said last week when it comes to Camille. Here's the thing that I will say, right? I don't understand the plight of being a black woman. I never can, and I never will. But in this particular instance, when it comes to Camille and Thomas, my problem comes in with Camille, the way that she's talking. Like I've said plenty of times before, you would think that this is an interracial marriage, but it's not an interracial marriage. Now they are both biracial, but they're not. It's not an interracial marriage. And again, like I said just a few minutes ago, I do understand that there's a difference between black women have different struggles than black men do, and I'm not going to sit here and deny that or ignore that. But like I said with Camille, I just I don't understand these her logic with anything, right? So we also find out that they both they got a little hurt with playing flag football, right? So after that, we see another scene with them. So Camille got home and Thomas set up for a massage for her, right? So Thomas started massaging her, kissing on her. They drank a little wine, and we see as they went to the bedroom, right? So it looked like Camille and Thomas got it popping, which we found out that they did get it popping, right? They told Dr. Pia that they consummated the marriage, so congratulations to them. So Dr. Pia asked the question of, when it comes to the actuals, what are the boundaries with both of them? And Camille says there are no boundaries, and I guess they're gonna, I guess he must have really. I'm gonna put it down. You gonna follow? Look, I'm gonna put it like I guess he must have really put it down on Camille because she looks ecstatic. So Thomas is also talking about how the fact of him, being able to say love is very hard for him, right? Because he hasn't really experienced it. And then he's also talking about the fact that, because of some of his past relationships, he feels that he isn't deserving of this relationship right here. And I was like, I mean, we all have a past, we all do things in the past that looking back on it, we realize we did wrong. As long as you learn from things and grow, then you're fine, right? But if you didn't learn anything and you stay in that same mind frame and headspace, then I would understand this sentiment more. But it seems like you may have learned from the past relationships. I hope so. So then after that, the swag word came back in this episode. I was like, girl, Camille, you and this word swag, his swag. You ain't even got no swag. Like, I really want you to stop talking about his swag when you have no swag of your own, right? Because y'all went to a jewelry store, you got some earrings for him. When that man put that chain on him, I was like, fudge. She finna talk about the swag, and she did. I was irritated. And hey, Shane, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing good. Like Camille, where is your swag at, Mama? I'm gonna ask that question anytime you mention the word swag when it comes to Thomas. I'm just gonna ask the question of where is your swag, because I have not saw any swag when it comes to you. Just keeping it real with you, and that's really it with Camille and Thomas. So let's go ahead and move on to the next couple, Carla and Juan. Honestly, we're with these two, it wasn't. Excuse me, y'all. With these two, it wasn't a whole lot in this episode with them. Because the episode opens with them. Not it didn't open with them, but where we open with them with this episode, we see Juan. Juan is out riding the bike. No, Carla. He got back to the house, the apartment, talking about the fact that Carla sleeps till 1 o'clock. I was like, she went from being passive aggressive. Now you're the one that's been a little bit passive aggressive. Whatever. So we see as they went out to eat. Now, let me know what y'all think about this, because she wanted to share some of his food with him. How do y'all feel about sharing food with people, significant others, children, parents, anything of that nature? Like, how do you guys feel about sharing food? That is something that I just don't really particularly get into. I'm not one of them people that like to share their food. What is mine is mine. If you wanted some, you would order some, and that's just me. Like, because I don't typically ask. I actually no, I don't ask people to try their food because I'm very picky about what I eat. So I would never really just ask somebody to try something on their plate. But let me know what you guys think, right? So with Carla, she is talking about, her upbringing and how with her family doesn't have the best communication style. Like, they don't know how to express to people how they feel, especially when it comes to anger or hurt or anything like that. They can't really express that. And when they do express it, they express it in anger, right? Like, if you're upset with someone, they don't know how to have a conversation with someone and be like, okay, you hurt me, you did this, da 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 da. It's all about anger with her family. And so, and she also says that her family didn't really show affection when she was growing up. And I will say, like, I always find that quite interesting when you hear people say that they didn't get that, their parents didn't tell them that they loved them, that they didn't hug them, show them any kind of affection. I always find that quite interesting, because for me, my mom definitely showed affection to me. From the time that I can remember, my mom always said to me, I love you. She always said, I loved you. She always gave me hugs. She always hugged on me, kissed on me. Now, as I got older, I would be like, okay, I know you love me. Like, you don't have to be hugging all up on me. You don't have to be kissing on me and stuff like that, right? But as a kid, she definitely showed me those things. So I always find it quite interesting when people didn't get that from their parents, right? So Carla's talking about the fact that she went to therapy, and so therapy helps her to be more open to that. And so that's her way of saying, telling him, like, that's why, she likes physical touch and all that kind of stuff, right? Which he says he doesn't understand, but he just isn't there yet, right? And we'll get to that in just a minute, what he means by he's just not there. I really won't want to just say, I don't like you like that, but he won't, right? But we see them and they're talking to Dr. Pia, right? So when they were talking to Dr. Pia, she's asking him how marriage is going, right? And Juan said it's going good, and Carla says it's going. And so Dr. Pia wanted to expound upon its going. And, Carla's just like, it's an adjustment. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely an adjustment with you marrying a complete stranger that you don't know. And now you're living with that person. So I definitely get it, right? So we also found out that Carla has not introduced Juan to her parents. And for Carla, she just wants to have a deeper connection with Juan before introducing him to her parents. And Juan said he understood that, right? And I was like, the reason why you understand it is because, once again, you ain't really into her like that, right? So then the conversation came up about Juan not really being there with Carla and what that means. And he says he's, it's the physical attraction. It's not really there with her. And I'm like, well, if it ain't there with her, I mean, and then the thing is, Carla is not an ugly girl. So if the physical attraction isn't there yet, it'll never happen, in my personal opinion. So again, Dr. P is asking, what do they need? So Carla wants to spend more quality. She wants to spend more quality time with him. I was like, okay, we gonna see. When we get to decision day, it's a lot of these couples that I hope say no on decision day. It's a lot of them that I hope say no. A lot. And two in particular. Actually, two in particular, I just hope that they divorce expeditiously and soon. And we'll talk about those two couples that I really want to go ahead and just get a quickie divorce and be done with this process because they're irritating me. So after that, we see as Carla and Juan, they're back at the apartment and they're just talking about, their upbringing. He talked about, him coming from Colombia, and he asked her, like, when did you get into doing hair? She said she's always done her hair, and that she did people's hair about 12 years old. So she's known from the age of 12 that she's always wanted to do hair. And then she's also talking about how she wants to own her own salon. And I was like, well, that's ambitious. And he was telling her some things, how trying to open up your own business, you have to put some, have to sacrifice some things. And he told her he will be there to help her. Do I believe it? I don't know. But let's go ahead and move on and get to the last two couples who I don't even know which order to start in. Let's start up with MM and Ikechi. I really don't know where to start with these two because it ain't even these two. It's Ikechi. You guys know I've said plenty of times when it comes to Ikechi, I can't stand him. He gets on my nerves. Oh, Shannon says, I'm not keeping up with this season like that, but all these couples should say no. Yes, all of them should say no because they all can't get past certain things. And it's irritating with me. But this couple right here, Mem and Ikechi, I promise you guys, I can't stand Mem. Not Mem, Ikechi. I like Mem. So we see Mem and she's out with her friends, right? And they talking about this fool and the fact that he used the word aggressive with her, right? And it's the fact that she's asking him questions. And if she don't ask you any questions, dude, then how do you expect to get to know her? How do you expect to sustain a marriage? And I'm using air quotes. Like, how do you expect to sustain that? Like, when I tell you guys I cannot stand him, right? So then we find out that so he gets off late. And so when he gets off late and he goes home and she wants to talk to him, he tells her that it's too late to talk. I'm like, girl, if you don't call up Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper and tell them to grant you a divorce from this man, please do it. Please do it, right? So we have her doing a solo cam, right? And so she is telling us that, they went out to dinner and she asked him, like, what did he do to prepare for marriage? And she said things got really testy and he raised his voice at her. Baby, the minute he would have raised his voice at me would have been the minute I walked out that restaurant without him. But if ma'am was trying to get him to leave with her, no, ma'am, don't leave with that fool. Let that fool sit right there and stew and do whatever he wants to do, right? So then they met up with Dr. Pia. So when they met up with Dr. Pia, he came in with a stank ass attitude, and Dr. Pia clocked it, right? He was like, well, it's been a long day and I'm tired. Okay, it's been a long day and you tired, but that don't mean that you come in with a stank ass attitude to somebody who ain't done shit to you. Again, I don't like this man, right? So he has a problem with the fact that she's asking him questions. And I'm like, nigga, how is she supposed to get to know you if she does not ask you any kind of questions? I promise you, I'm tired of this man. So then he states that she wants to have sex with him, right? But he doesn't want to have sex with her unless and I'm paraphrasing, unless he feels like they're on the same page when it comes to marriage. I'm like, oh, I can't I don't know who I dislike more, him or Michelle, because they both irk my nerves, right? So then he's talking about he feel like a piece of meat. I was like, you know what? Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. So a mem let it be known that when they were on the bus going to the honeymoon, that she had her hand rested on his lap his she had her hand rested on his thigh, his leg or something like that, but then he moved her hand in between his legs. But then after they moved into the apartment, she says he touched him and he said to stop. So she asked him if he wants her. And so he gets upset about that, right? But then he's trying to sit here and say that, she violates his space and she violates when he says no, right? So Dr. P was like, okay, so you're saying that she violates you, like she doesn't listen to you? He said, no, that's not what I said. I was like, that is what you said. And ma'am, again, asked for a divorce. Because listen to Dr. Pia talk to them, it was like that it's like they're trying to force these two to stay together. No. Divorce is imminent for these two. So after they met up with Dr. Pia, we see as he went down to MM's office, because he said that since the meeting with Dr. Pia, they haven't really had a conversation with each other. I don't blame her. I would not say anything to you. It would be fuck you for forever and always. Like I stopped listening to him at this point in this episode because I was like, you're just full of shit to me. Because I don't believe nothing that he says to her. And that's really all I got. If you guys want to chime in, definitely chime in. But we're going to move on to the last couple. David and Michelle. Where do I start with David and Michelle? Like, I have so many issues with them. Some of them are Michelle, and some of it is David. And what I will say is the problem that I have with David is that because Michelle is his type, what he likes to date and stuff, he's allowing he's trying to fix himself up to be what she wants when she actually doesn't want him, right? So we see, as he and Michelle, they're going out to get their eyebrows done, right? And I was like, okay, cool. Even if you can get your eyebrows done, you can take this man bun out, you can let your hair down, you could cut your hair, you could do whatever you want to do, David. All in all, Michelle does not like you. Michelle is not attracted to you. Michelle does not want you. And I want them to let this shit go and to move the fuck on. So her friend was talking about the fact, because they went to her friend's place. Her friend said that Michelle is positive and that she's a breath of fresh air. I said, where is this Michelle that you speak of? Because in 9 episodes, I have not saw this Michelle. The Michelle that I've saw is miserable as hell. She's mean as hell, and she's rude as hell. So where is this breath of fresh air and this positive person? Because that Michelle ain't in the building with us right about now, right? So the friends suggested they do more fun things together. So after that, we see as the two went bowling, right? So Michelle, here's the thing. I will defend Michelle in this particular scene because Michelle was talking to the friends about David and the fact that David cusses and David cussed in front of her mom. I would have a problem with that too, right? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to you that I didn't curse in front of my mom. I did, but it wasn't like it wasn't all the time. It would be random moments where I would be in my room, or she would just be close by and I would cuss, but I wouldn't make it a habit of just cussing in front of my mama. And then too, when it comes to me cussing, I don't cuss. I can actually have a conversation without actually using a whole lot of profanity. But I get where she's coming from. But then Michelle lost me when she was talking about the fact that the man, he eats the same thing. I was like, Michelle, are you now you're nitpicking? And then she keeps talking about this lifestyle thing. It's like, Michelle, what lifestyle are you talking about? Michelle, you must forget. We did see your apartment, and your apartment was basic AF. Like you live in a basic ass apartment. So I don't really understand what you're talking about when it comes to this lifestyle thing. When it comes to him, I don't get it. Like it's almost as if Michelle thinks that she's perfect, but also, like I said last week, the problem with Michelle also is that Michelle looks at David as if he's broke. That's really what the problem is. She looks at that man as if he's broke. So yeah, she was complaining about what the man eats. I was like, girl, shut up. Like I was just irritated with Michelle. So then we see as David and Michelle are talking to Dr. Pia, right? This is where I really got irritated and annoyed at with this episode with Dr. Pia. So Dr. Pia is sitting with David and Michelle, right? So she's playing David and Michelle, their interviews that they did with the producers before they found, their matches, right? And they were just talking about what they want. And what they want, it sounds like they're talking about each other, which, yes, I will be honest. Listen to what they're saying. Yes, they are talking about one another. But at this point, Michelle does not like him, but she can't get past the fact that he lives at home. She thinks he's broke. She doesn't like she doesn't like anything about this man. She's finding, like I said earlier, she talked about what the man eats. Michelle keeps moving the goalpost with him. She does not like him. And what I'm irritated with, because she got irritated. I don't know why she got irritated, but I know why I got irritated. I got irritated because it just feels like at this point the experts are playing in her face and wanting her to stay in a situation where she is unhappy. Let her go. I know y'all doing this for the sake of the show and for the sake of ratings, but it ain't cute and it ain't funny. Like I'm over it. But that's the episode, you guys. If I left anything out with this episode, you guys know the routine. You guys can definitely leave it down in the comment section below. You guys do me a solid favor and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video, you guys. And until next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, you guys. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys later on this afternoon for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you guys. See you guys then. Bye, guys.